Good evening. It's Building Committee, Monday, February 26, 5:30 PM. Call to order. Number two, discussion prioritization on new building and major renovation projects. Mr. Carpenter?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rosas. We have prepared a list here, and it may or may not have everything on here that has been discussed, but these are projects that have been discussed through conversations with the board or through our principals or other administration, areas we might want to consider addressing, especially in light of the fact that we'll have a little bit of extra money at the end of this year by changing our fiscal year to July 1. So I'm not looking for any official action tonight or really even an in-depth discussion. I just want to share these with you, and over the next couple of months we can start to prioritize, decide in what direction the board would like to go with some of these, where our top few are, and then we can look for funding sources and whether or not we have enough based on what we're going to save. So I'll go through the list here real quickly. This is not set in stone. This is a working document. It is meant for conversation only, but just so you have an idea of some discussions that have been taking place. We still have some roofs that, while we are addressing the worst ones right now with Parsons, I believe there's probably $3 million worth of roofs out there that are over 20 years old that we should replace and just be proactive before we start having any leakage trouble with them. Some athletic facilities for consideration. Our softball girls, I think, fill up the seats we have fairly regularly now, so we are looking at a possible addition of some seating there to the tune of around $105,000. Also some safety netting, save those foul balls from flying back and hitting people or vehicles, a little over $20,000. And then covered seating is an option. We don't have a price on that yet, but we're working on a quote. Baseball, similarly, we would look at some safety netting around $26,000, and we're working on a price for some covered seating. The next item there that we've discussed, and we've gone to Brownsville to look at a facility at Rivera High School, is an indoor athletic facility. This allows, in bad weather situations, for your soccer, your football, your baseball, your softball, your marching band, to be able to come in and have a covered turf room. And whether we're talking about wet weather or whether we're talking about heat, the students have the chance to be in. It's shaded. We can put the large fans in there. Open up the doors on the side and get some good ventilation. And we'd be able to include a state-of-the-art weight room there for all of our athletes to be able to use. And there's a range there, depending on how large you want to go and whether we want like a brick exterior versus a tin exterior or some combination. So we're talking $2.5 to $3.5 million. Should be able to get a very nice indoor facility to help our students.
Where?
This is a discussion, so we don't have a set place, but one possibility would be very close to where our field house is right now, so that our students, when they come to athletics, they'd be able to go right across to it, access it, right across that small road. If you're driving back toward the field house before you get to the ball fields,
Okay.
just across there where one of those practice fields are,
Right.
we could put it there. There's plenty of space. We have room for, we could put 3 of them out there if you want to. There's plenty of room out there.
I gotta make a comment. In regards to the facilities, or this indoor athletic facility, I think we need to take into consideration too if some board members haven't been out there to see these facilities, I think it's very important that you go out there and see it. Not only do our roofs have a lot of issues, but our indoor facilities are pretty antiquated. For the great program that we have and for the new marketing tools that we got going on right now, honestly, it needs a facelift, so to speak. So, if we're gonna provide our kids with the best opportunities to succeed all the way around, then I think we need to, step it up one way, shape, or form. So that's, like I said, I mean, it's really, I had the pleasure of Coach Gomez allowing me to go out there and see the facilities, and, they're in dire need of number one, a state-of-the-art weight room. They need a lot of help. That's my 2 cents. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. And you bring up a good point. As we start to talk about these areas, it might be a good idea for us to schedule a board meeting where we're actually visiting these locations. So we could take the school Suburban and go and visit some of these sites and put your eyes on them. And when I get down,
No, you just want to drive. You don't want to let nobody else drive. That's all.
as we work down this list, I think that approach would work well for a couple of these. The next item on here is a fine arts facility or an auditorium. We currently don't have any auditorium. We have the cafetoriums, we have the stages in our cafeterias. And really, for our size of school district, I think it's appropriate to have a fine arts facility, a standalone auditorium. And we can discuss where it should go. I think we have a few viable options, or if we need to purchase land to put it on, we can look at that. I got some estimates. Comptroller does an estimate per square footage for new buildings, and then based on some floor plans, I kind of estimated the square footage necessary for about 1,000-seat auditorium, and I think putting those two together, we'd be looking at between $6 and $8 million. However, if we want an auditorium that would be large enough to serve as a bad weather site for graduation, seat around 2,500 students, we're looking probably between $15 and $18 million.
That's a lot of money.
It's a little bit of money. At the high school, we know we have some issues with our hallways and our classrooms. There's been some work done in the center of the building. The cafeteria looks good. There have been some additions that are in pretty good shape. But the front of the building, the facade there probably wouldn't hurt. But then if we were to go through and just renovate hallways and classrooms, and we could choose maybe one or two during the summer at a time, get it knocked out over the next couple of years. But estimating there, depending on how much work we want to do, we can do the full ceiling grid, the new ceiling tiles, do LED lighting, paint the walls, new trim, new floor, new doors, tie in some security doors based on some of the things we're facing. I think between $2 and $4 million, just again, depending on how in-depth we want to be with that. But it needs something. The facade for the high school, just dress up the front so that it looks more appealing. I think we can do something for a couple $100,000. LED marquees are asked about in every single principal meeting we have, I think. I think we're estimating a little bit high there, but I think for $340 we could get the campuses a new LED marquee. Transportation parking lot over at UTEC. We have an estimate in there to pave that side for $190,000. We have our nice new buses, but we pull them onto our parking lot, and given the condition, they get dirty. It's not great for our suspensions either, but we think about $190,000. We've also visited with the city about paving that street out in front. I hate to spend $200,000 paving the parking lot, and then as soon as you pull out, you're driving down a street that's got potholes everywhere you go. And the city believes they could share the cost of that. And if we came up with half of it, about $270,000 or $275,000, they would be able to pave that street.
Got a comment, Doc?
No, come on, yeah.
Hey, Doc, as far as that street is concerned, I mean, I know there's a lot of businesses that are there. You have a concrete company, right, close by. You have all these distributing companies. Would they be part, is the city gonna go out there and reach out to them, or?
I believe they've reached out to there's a board, I think, for that industrial board. And I don't believe they're interested in putting money into that street. They developed that street, is what I understand, but then turned it over to the city. So it's now up to the city officially to maintain. And I don't think they have the money in their budget to be able to do that. And I don't think it's one of their priorities compared to some of the neighborhood streets they're working on right now. The next item, I think this board had maybe talked about last year, just improving and expanding our coverage for our security cameras, high school, VMA, and Miller Jordan. The current number we're working from is $578,000, but rest assured we will take competitive bids and make sure that if we can go under that, we certainly would. There apparently were also a couple of fencing projects discussed last year. One at Dr. Garza, one at VMA. Again, those aren't large projects, really, $25,000 and $50,000. Buses, I know we purchased a large number that we are paying for over 5 years, but if we're going to continue to refresh our fleet, we were just far behind. If we're going to continue to refresh it, it might not hurt to buy maybe four new ones for around $400,000. Natatorium has been discussed, and that seems like a big number, $4 million, but I think that's going to be a pretty high-quality competition type of an natatorium. Of course, we can go with a much smaller one, just kind of a practice site, but I think that is the top number if the board wanted to consider it. We have some playgrounds that still need to be improved upon. The next two campuses are at Fred Booth and La Paloma. That would cost us about $100,000. The high school student parking lot still needs some work. We believe we can get that done for around $65,000. Maintenance department has asked for a few things. If we gave them everything they're asking for, they would like 7 new vehicles. There are 4 half-ton trucks included in that, 2 vans, and 1 3/4-ton truck, around $200,000 off a buy board if we keep them pretty base. A couple of tractors they're estimating would cost around $25,000, and then some paving on their side of the UTEX building as well, just based on the trailers they're trying to get in and out of there for around $48,000. The last item on here, we are looking at a possibility of E3 and Schneider doing some type of energy-saving projects. If we don't decide to use our savings to finance that, and we don't want to just take it on as a district, we think between $2 and $2.5 million that we could make the district LED across the board. Again, that's one option, is we pay for it, we have the money, or we can do one of the notes with either of those companies, and then we just take the savings and make the payment with it over 10 years or so. Those are some of the main projects that have been brought to my attention at this point. Again, we're not looking for a vote or looking for a huge discussion this evening. I just want to make you aware, put them all on paper, and then over the next couple of months, ask the board to start formulating these projects are the most important. And as we get closer to the end of the fiscal year, and we have a better idea of how much money we're going to have left over this year, we can start matching that up. Once we prioritize, have a good number, we could then amend the budget and probably start some of these projects in the fall. The auditorium, for example, if the board decides to go with the larger auditorium, that might require the passage of a bond. I mean, it's pretty costly. But these are estimates. I just wanted to get them there for your information this evening.
Can I ask a question in reference to the baseball? We're adding covers and seats. Coach, is there any consideration maybe placing it somewhere? It looks kind of real congested. That's the girls' baseball area, the diamond itself. Is like placing it, moving the field somewhere else.
We do have land behind the baseball field, but we're also, that's where our throwing pits are at.
Okay.
I believe that where our complex currently sits is very efficient for both athletes and coaches and securities to be able to have enough eyes in one spot as opposed to everything spread out. And
Yeah.
really, I think this setup is
It's sufficient.
it's efficient.
Okay. I just had a question.
Doc, I got a comment, Doc, as far as all this is concerned, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made here in the next couple of months. A lot of very important decisions for our kids and our kids' safety and the well-being of our facilities and all that. I recommend that, if you guys are cool with it, I recommend that we have a workshop, Doc, to go over all this, and see, how we can prioritize and where we can get monies for certain things. I think, just looking at all these dollar signs here, it's kind of, but, there is some monies out there that I think we can abstract from and to help us with some of these costs here. So I think the board, needs to be, I guess, educated on the possibilities of what we can do and what we can do. Thanks, Doc.
Yes, sir. I think it's a good idea. We can certainly put that together.
Okay. Continue with item number 3. Discussion and purchase of replacement chiller for Oscar de la Fuente Elementary. I'd like to table this for another day. The chillers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number 4, committee concerns. Any committee concerns? Emil?
No, we don't have any concerns.
Okay, no.
That building, those projects, that's a lot.
Yeah, but
We need to have a workshop of some kind because
Okay,
So it is a lot, but we are going to have millions of dollars that we don't spend this year by cutting off our fiscal year early. And some of these things, like the roofs, in my opinion, I don't get a vote out of 7, but in my opinion, if we have that money, I would love to be proactive, and let's just replace those roofs that we know we're going to have to anyhow. But we will have a significant amount of money that we can reinvest into our district.
okay.
You know, and our facilities, honestly, you know, I think the facility audit, Doc, that they were supposed to do, and I don't think it's 100% complete yet from TASB. The facility audit that we're supposed to do, I guess. I don't think the board ever got a, you know, 100% synopsis on how bad our facilities really are. So, I think, you know, that being said, it could, number one, potentially cause a hazard to our, you know, to our kids and our staff, and, but more importantly, you know, we need to provide them with all the resources and the, you know, so they can succeed academically and also in extracurricular activities as a whole.
Well, I guess the sooner we do that workshop, be better in certain situations that we got, especially the roof. And the other one, we'll just go ahead and take care of business. Okay? At this time, I'd like to, it's 5:46, adjourn the meeting.